But we're literally on right now.
We're live, baby.
Aaron, no, you didn't have to do it the second time, but that's okay. We'll keep it in.
Yeah, we'll keep that in.
Aaron, thanks for coming. You're going to a gala tonight.
I am going to a gala, yeah. Is it gala?
Gala? I don't know.
Gala?
Could be, but we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Why? Like, what's the gala all about?
Yeah. So I've always volunteered in the past through Big Brother Big Sister, and this was a way to still be active with the organization it holds through Milwaukee. So they host a huge annual gala. I think last year they raised like $750,000, something like that. Yeah, it's a pretty serious event. So,
and you're saying it was at the Pfister, wasn't it?
It's at the Pfister. Yep, It's at the Pfister this year. So they host it every year. It's a super awesome event, and like I said, it's an awesome.
I actually came prepared, hoping that
I see
that I get an invite. So I'm coming, right?
This is really awkward. Unfortunately, tickets are sold out. So no.
But you hosted. You can't just give me an in.
I am not the host. I am far from the host.
Actually, I think you'd actually like make a good host.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Well, I thought I'd dress up and match you anyways.
Yeah,
I think it'd be appropriate.
I appreciate
so you didn't feel weird if I wore like a hoodie.
I would have.
And you wore.
I almost feel more weird that you did match my vibe, because like this isn't the vibe for the podcast normally, is it?
I know, but I think you're more jealous because they probably look better. Yeah. All right. Well, the reason why you're on, Aaron, is actually introduce yourself. I think that'd be most appropriate.
Definitely. So my name is Aaron Schmitz. I am the team lead for the Schmitz Group over at Epic Mortgage, and I've been in the mortgage business for almost coming up on a decade now.
Dang,
yeah.
That's actually
I'm getting
wild.
old.
How old are you?
I just turned 29 years old.
I'm old. 29,
I'm old.
Not even 30.
Listen. When I woke up on my 29th birthday, which is like 2 weeks ago, I legitimately had back pain.
Well, how I know that I'm getting old is when I now just bend over and one of my knees crack.
Yeah.
So you just wait until that happens.
Just wait till that happens. All right.
And then you don't sleep well ever. You always wake up in the middle of the night to pee. You know, that's a good sign that you're getting old.
It's a good sign.
Why I wanted you on, because I'm actually, which I think you've noticed, is I've started my own real estate team.
Yeah. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I started out with one. I've got Austin. He's like my right-hand man. He was on the first podcast. Now we have 3 other agents on board. So what I'm struggling with is being a leader, but also I have to produce as well.
Yeah.
Right. You now have a team, don't you?
Correct. Yeah.
And then what does that look like? Like how many people? How long have they been doing it? But I also need your advice on how, because it took you, I think you were mentioning like a year to really kind of getting it going. Maybe you could help fast track that for me.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean my team launch in whole from obviously like a online presence and obviously like a branding is really recent. In fact, it's technically only a month old. Mm-hmm. But about a year and a half ago is when people, other loan officers in the mortgage business had switched on over to our company in whole, and they were looking to have some sort of a mentorship or have the company also wanted them to be kind of reporting to someone as the company had scaled. So the owner of the company, you know, he had obviously mentioned it to me, and it was something I was interested in pursuing. I didn't really know much at the time when there was maybe only 1 or 2 people on board, but over the course of over a year, now I have 5 people underneath me, ranging from experience standpoint of things, ranging from 6 months brand new in the business, like no sales experience, to almost 20 years in the business.
Dang.
And in fact, actually, one of them, he's amazing. His name is Todd. He was actually not necessarily my mentor when I had started, but I would harass the living crap out of him when I got newly licensed in the mortgage business, because I had no idea what I was doing, and he was this experienced, like super knowledgeable person. So it's a cool thing to to be able to work with someone with such great experience, because I can still even come to him at times for guidance, or like I said, if there's an issue or a question, especially when it comes to the mortgage business.
Awesome. Real quick for our sponsors, Liquid Death, who is not sponsoring this, but will eventually.
I think I know a rep there.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Dude, actually, you know a lot of people, so I would not be surprised. You then fell into almost leadership without asking for it.
Yeah, a little bit.
What is that like? Like, do you like being a leader, or are you kind of like, I could go without?
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it. I've always I don't know if this is a love language, but I love when people come to me for some sort of hey, I need help, or hey, I need guidance. I really just enjoy helping people. And the thing is, obviously, when I'm helping out, obviously, people on my team, I'm still pouring into them, and at the end of the day, though, it's also still benefiting me and helping them grow as well too. So,
like, would you agree that that's the difference between like a boss and a leader, someone who actually cares and wants somebody to grow, instead of like, you better do this or else you're fired?
Yeah, definitely. The and by no means am I this super expert, leader. Like I said, I'm still very, very new into it, but I definitely notice, even from past employers and just past people working with, I've seen those bosses in a sense where it's just like, you're not out to help me, you're just here to help yourself.
Yep.
So I definitely agree. A leader is for sure looking out for their people first, and almost, I think of, like, it's the weirdest thing. I think of, like, George Washington's on the boat holding the, the sword up, pointing, the troops in the right direction. Like, that's what I think a leader is.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with like the leadership part of it, do you like have one-on-ones with them every week? Or what does that look like?
Yeah. So rewind a little bit, kind of, we'll talk about the topic, but also side off and then come right back to it. Is starting off, I would do like weekly, borderline almost daily meetings. And it got to a point, because I was so new, I was like, I have no time whatsoever. And because I was constantly trying to not only learn for myself, like how to be like a really impactful leader, but also, like, I just wanted to make sure these people didn't hate me as well too. We're all still very new. We're still random people, right? That joined on to this newer company. So it's like, I just want to make sure they liked me as well too, right?
Yeah.
So now, to that point of your question of like, how often do you meet, right? So on and so forth. The biggest thing that I have learned is not barraging them with meetings and constantly like harassing them with their time, because their time's just as valuable as mine. And so how we structure things now is, it is a bi-weekly call. We do it right away in the morning on a Friday, well before 9:00, and we're just going over recaps of, what are we working on? What are we trying to accomplish? What are some pain points? But most importantly, I'm always asking, what are some wins? And not necessarily even like personally, or not professionally, but I'm asking also personal wins as well too. And it's getting in that right mindset of, even if you think you don't have wins, there are so many wins that we all have in life that we don't even realize. And it's like getting in the right track. Yeah. So besides the core, or the bi-weekly calls, I just tell everybody at this point, it's like, if you need more kind of attention or love, in a sense, from me, I'm an open book. You can book a call with me anytime, and I'll be.
So that's one thing that I feel like I'm struggling with, because I say the 3 out of the 4 agents that I'm working with right now, and I want to give them as much time as I possibly can, right? Because being brand spanking new to it. Their whole thing that they're trying to do right now is just book appointments, try to find new business. I don't want them trying to figure out how to like work on a contract when they don't need to do that right now, right?
Yeah.
But I probably it's all the time, and I don't want to make them feel like they can't come to me for those things.
Yeah.
But my team also needs to produce as well. Like I need to produce, and that's what I struggle with. Do you time block that portion? Are you like, hey team, like between here and here, I'm trying to make the business run.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, like, I guess, what does that look like? Or how did you segue into that? Because if they're new and they're always trying to grab your attention, you don't want to make them feel bad or push them away where like, my leader doesn't even want to help me.
Yeah. Yeah. So starting off, like I said, I was pouring very, very heavily, and maybe not necessarily like bugging them like crazy, but, with those newer people, the most important thing is there still is obviously going to be training up front, but it's also setting really clear expectations. And something that my team and I, we really focus on is the pure respect of time management, and that if it's a code red situation, kind of like a 911 situation, understanding what is a 911 situation and what can maybe wait 2 hours, or the next day, or could it be handled maybe by reaching out to other resources or trying to find something on your own. And what we've really focused on is, and what I've done is, because my team is kind of scattered throughout the state of Wisconsin, I'm never really seeing them in person anyways, unless it's obviously with events or maybe we schedule meetings one-on-one in person. But I've been using Calendly as my like sole time management, and to not only manage my book of business with not only clientele, consumers, but also then my team can see on my calendar when I am available. So it's important for me to just block out what I need to do throughout the course of the day and the weeks and the months, and fill in the gaps with obviously everybody else's needs and requests.
What do you think your biggest struggle has been with like being a leader that, again, you almost didn't ask for it? It was kind of like, hey, we're going to try this out. Like we need some kind of mentorship. Yeah. So starting out, what was that like biggest struggle for?
Yeah. The biggest struggle, and I don't think anybody ever really definitively masters this, but the biggest struggle for me is understanding personalities, but also what are people's trigger points or like motivation points, and where is crossing the line. And starting off, being still especially younger and obviously new in the leadership, I just assumed maybe everybody's maybe like the bro, right? And tough love is always important, but understanding that maybe there's someone that has their to click their button to get them to find that motivation or get into that disciplined mindset is different than what mine may be. So, and that doesn't happen overnight. You don't just wake up one morning and be like, that's it, I found it, right? I found it for you. I know how to help you now, right? Or I know how to give you guidance on things. It just comes with time. And that's the unfortunate, at least, and there may be a secret to it, but unfortunately for me, over the course of this year and a half, it took some months to find that pressure point, or in a good way, to help, especially in sales, to help push and break that barrier.
Yeah. Like their motivation for sales.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
So, okay. Segue real quick. I was at the office and I was looking for like protein shakes. Okay. Because I didn't want to go grab like a hamburger.
Is this for another sponsorship?
No.
Okay.
Oh, it should be though.
It should be.
I know. Whoever wants to sponsor protein shakes. No. So I actually looked up on the Googs. Google Map came up with a protein shake that was actually a Muskego, and I went there and it was closed, and there was like a boutique shop there. So then I went and grabbed other shakes or protein shakes in West Dallas. I came back, and Austin tells me that's your wife's
It's the
boutique
wife's
shop.
boutique, yeah.
She took it over. She put that protein shake out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, no.
Yeah. Why I bring that up though, being in a business where you have to run it, then you have other people that you have to manage. How do you like incorporate like the personal life? Because my wife, she's actually watching right now. Like, thank God, because
Hi, honey.
she supports the crap out of me, and luckily, I have that support system. And I mean, I met your wife, and it's this. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing for you. But you also support her business. Where do you guys get your personal time? And do you time block that? Is it weird to time block that, or like how does that even commingle?
Yeah. So first off, great question. Time blocking for me, I am a time blocking freak when it comes to what I am doing on at times to the second basis. So I love my personal life outside of work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge golfer, and obviously having an amazing wife. Shout out to you, honey, if you're watching this. So blocking that personal time is actually done first.
Yeah.
So when I'm going in and I'm mapping out my month and my quarter.
Dang, you're doing it that far out.
I'm going way far out. In fact, a lot of times I just tell people, hey, I book a quarter in advance. Like, hey, mom, you want to see me? Okay, what do we do in February? Right?
Yeah.
And what I do is I just label things, and it is gold time on my calendar. So anytime I have something on my calendar, I'm going in, I'm booking everything personally first. Whether it's date nights or if we have birthday parties, or if I'm going golfing, or if I'm just doing anything personal that has nothing to do with work, period. And then at that point, it's just working and blending our businesses around that. Now, with my wife Marissa, with her boutique and our storefront, the storefront is obviously more retail hours. We have a luxury in real estate where, if we need to take off of work for the day, we technically we can.
We could,
right?
Yeah.
And it's still the same with the retail space. If it is obviously an emergency, yes, but it's more structured hours.
Yeah.
So it's understanding that, hey, I need to get as much work done in when she's obviously working, and blend in, like I said, that personal time, whether it's in the mornings or obviously later at night, is really where we shine. In fact, for us, it's hardcore mornings. Like every morning, we always try to make sure we have our coffee in the morning, sit, play with our dog, all this other stuff, and just not try to look at emails or address work, and make that a priority.
I like heard my wife go, because that
I think she's taking notes.
Yeah.
Over
Yeah.
there,
Yeah. 100% taking notes on that for sure. Now, see, that's perfect. And that's so like, this is perfect why I have you on, because I struggle with a lot of that stuff. First of all, it's like the time blocking.
Yeah.
Like I put something in the calendar, and then I get like so how do you handle a prospect that's like, or a client that's like, hey, like I have today at 6:00 or 5:00, but you have something else in your calendar. I get that fear of, if I don't handle the client, I'm going to lose out. And then that's business that wasn't there.
Yeah.
So do you move your stuff around for clients? And if you don't, how does that conversation go with that client?
Yeah. So there's, in especially real estate, there's urgencies and there's not. And when someone is looking to get pre-approved for a home loan, I really set expectations with, let's just say, like referral partners of, is it code red? Is it not? If someone comes to you and says, oh, hey, I'm thinking about buying a home in the next 6 months. Well, getting them pre-approved in an hour is not a priority.
Right.
Right. And some people think it is. I always label it as like the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go in and get a physical, you don't just walk in to the hospital and say, "Hi, I would like to get my physical in the next hour."
Right. Right. You have to call and schedule it, and sometimes they're a month out.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So now, obviously, we can still, it all bases off the calendar. So I use obviously technology, and I send that to clientele and say, "Hey, here's my availability." And a lot of times it could just be same day, right? Mm-hmm. And I would say like 95% of the time it is same day. But obviously, if someone needs me and I'm just not available, it's a matter of if it's urgent or not. Same thing with the doctors, right? If you broke your arm and you go to the ER, you're next in line. But also, if someone comes in and their arm is chopped off, well, guess who's going to get more of a priority than you with your broken arm, right?
Yeah, the guy with the fever.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's really hard at first. I used to be that person that would drop dead everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this was maybe 2-3 years ago of just, oh my gosh, I have to call this person right now. Otherwise they are going to hate me forever. And they're never going to talk to me again if I can't get them on the phone right now.
Mm-hmm.
And shifting it to a hey, my business is still a priority. I'm still here to help you, but I want to give you my undivided attention. Mm-hmm. And make it more professional as well too because of that.
Well, the way that you say it also sounds like it's a caring way of saying it. Like it's like instead of like, well, I got something booked. It's like, hey, I'm here for you, and I want to make sure I have the appropriate amount of time for you.
Yeah,
I would hate to cut you off short because of trying to just fit you in. I want to make sure to answer all of your questions. This is what I have available.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, throughout the day, I mean, I'm sure your phone is the same thing, right? Everybody calls you. Mm-hmm. And the hardest part is determining, is it urgent, is it not? Mm-hmm. And my, it's like the sentence of the year for me was, hey, I am in the middle of something. Like, I want to give you my undivided attention. Yeah. Can I send you maybe my calendar, or can I call you back around, 4:00 or whatever it is?
Yeah.
And I have yet to have a single person ever be like, absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Like, how dare you?
It's going to happen tomorrow.
That's why I knocked on. Is this real wood or is this plastic?
I don't know, actually. I think this was made from the Amish.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So it's legit.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah. No power tools.
Exactly.
Handcrafted.
Right. Good.
Yeah. I'm also a little bit jealous that your bow tie is bigger than mine, and I didn't get it.
It's like most things in life.
Yeah. Yeah. And also my height. Yeah. You guys can't see it on the camera, but I'm literally dangling my feet right now. So
I wish we could pan down to it, because this dude is like,
Sarush, don't do that. No one's gonna see that. Absolutely not. Now, when we were talking about, because I knew I wanted to have you on, because I definitely have learned a lot of our like, yes, we joke around all the time when we hang out, but then for a 29-year-old who's not old, okay, you are very mature, and you're very much wanting to learn and be the best.
Yeah.
So I do learn a lot from you, and that's why I wanted to have you on. Now, we were talking about how can we incorporate that for the podcast. We also talked about time blocking, which we have been having that conversation, but you also mentioned that you taught some time blocking. And I was like, time blocking is boring, dude. Everybody time blocks. Like, that's been talked about. You're like, no, like, I've got other things that probably most haven't talked about. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
What are some of the? Oh, I'm putting it on the spot.
You're putting me right on the spot.
Dude.
My brain's like,
I gotta grab it. Yeah. So, what are some other things for time blocking that maybe just isn't well known? To stay, I guess, within that schedule.
Yeah. I would say, okay, so the color coordination of a time blocking schedule is important, right? Blocking out the personal time we talked about.
What color is personal time?
Gold time.
Gold.
It's gold.
Dude, and you called it gold time too.
Yeah, it's gold time.
I would have done like red.
Red is like a stop. Red
Yeah.
is no go.
Oh,
That's
oh.
like an emergency. Like red's like normally like a cautious.
Oh,
Hey,
all right.
watch out.
So not red.
Yeah.
I'll do green.
Well, so here's how I do this. You're like, well, sorry, Jeff, you're wrong. No,
No, cannot be that.
So, I mean, you can label whatever you want. Like I label things as, personal time is my gold time. And I label prospecting as green for money, right?
Yeah.
It's my green time. And, catching up on emails, working on things that aren't generating money is labeled as red.
Okay.
Because when I look at my calendar and if I just see a ton of red, it's like a trigger to me. Because I know now I'm like, hey, this is like, I need to work on this and I need more green and I need more gold.
So does that kind of like help you want to get it done? I mean, efficiently, of course, but like I better get this done as fast as possible to fit more green in my schedule.
Yeah. Or try to delegate or leverage other people as well.
No, that's actually perfect because, okay, so part of my, actually Sarush is giving me a heads up for something. Should we just get, yeah. We're good?
Killing me, by the way.
Nah. Come on. Do some
I
setups,
was
dude.
110%. Like, I hope this
Oh,
is
no,
being filmed
it's
too.
on right now. Yeah. Yeah.
We were talking about posture
Before
and like not slouching like this. And I was like, oh, this whole time I'm going to sit up and I'm going to be like looking like a beautiful human being, great posture.
with your
My
bow
legs
tie.
were like shaking. I hope the camera picked it up. I was like, like I can't feel my core. I'm 110% laying back now.
Yeah. All right. Well, don't look like a slouch
Yeah.
on my podcast.
Exactly. I will try not to.
See now, Suresh, help me out. You're my creative director. Put me back on track.
Leveraging team members.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
I got you.
all right. So I know eventually I'm going to need to hire like I don't know if it's an assistant or like a coordinator, and it's like okay, I'm afraid to not give them enough tasks.
Yeah.
But this is a perfect way of like okay, when I have those red on my schedule and I know that those are not money making opportunities. Like I should be putting that in notes of that, and that's spelling out what that job description is for somebody that you're hiring, that you're never worried that they're not going to have enough. Do you have like an assistant, if you will? And then what do you call them?
Yeah.
Bob?
So we
What's his name?
just
George?
hired, his name's Nick.
Oh.
He's been in the business for I think 7, 8 years. I might be totally wrong on that one. But I don't know the exact time when he was licensed, but he's been in the business for a while now.
Okay.
And super knowledgeable guy. And I approached him and I said, hey, I need help. He was on the team and I said, hey, you are so knowledgeable when it comes to loan products and structuring deals and also working with clientele. I have this proposal for you. And it's technically in the loan officer world. It's just a loan officer assistant.
Okay.
We kind of label them as more of like a loan partner.
Okay.
I don't like the word assistant
Same.
when labeling people because it just seems like they are just this kind of like nobody, kind of this like, hey, you're just kind of my I was
More
going
like
to cuss and say my biatch.
Yeah.
You know? I was told not to cuss everybody. So
Yeah, I said at least no F word, but
yeah.
Sarush said that he would cut it out or bleep it, which would be kind of funny. They don't feel like an employee. You want somebody to feel like a team member.
Yeah. And we wanted to make sure, and I wanted to lay it out really well for him that, hey, you are not this just back end person. We're going to throw you in a closet and you just sit and click on a computer all day long. You are part of the team and you are an important part of the team. And here's why.
Yeah.
And explaining that we collectively as a group and whole do not grow without this role. So not only does he help me, he helps all the other loan officers on the team itself with coordinating closings and collecting certain documentation and just getting the loan officer out of that red time.
Mm-hmm.
But for him, it's actually, that is almost his green time for the team.
Yeah.
Because it's still very important things that need to be done. You can't just not, chase down like loan paperwork when you're trying to get, a loan to be approved or pre-approved, right?
Yeah.
It's still a very important thing. However, it's not helping you get more business in the door.
Right.
So he is a massive success, or a massive part of our growth and success to have loan officers and including myself as well too, branch out and use our time more efficiently.
I'm literally going to start doing the color coordinating, and as it's funny because it does sound like silly, right? But at the same time, I like the triggers for it. Now, with what I've identified, like my struggles, since you've kind of already been through it a little bit, what do you identify from what I've told you that I should also start doing other than color coordinating my schedule? Like, what do you think my thing I should work on? Like, I wouldn't say immediately, but like something that will help skyrocket me to where you're at right now.
Yeah. Good question. So I would say the first thing with any growth, and this is something that I was told very new of doing the growth of the team, is where do you want things to actually go?
Mm-hmm.
Because if your goal is to have 10 people, well, you need to have a really dialed in system for those 10 people. But also, if your goal is, hey, I want to have 500 people, that system, that process, the operations behind things, you as one sole individual could not handle 500 people. You'd have to think and map out more of almost like a business plan for the team growth. And something that doing still new into the team growth, I never identified that in the very, very beginning of like, what am I actually trying to accomplish here?
Yeah. What am I doing?
What am I doing? What am I doing?
Where am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even part of me right now is we're planning out, our year goals, our 5-year goals, our 10-year goals, and labeling that so we know the direction that we have to take. And that's something that, like I said, I am just starting to do, and I wish I could have told myself that day one of what am I trying to accomplish. Because, for instance, with this loan partner, Nick, I wish that role would have been sooner than a year and a half-ish of implementing things, because that growth, the growth that we've already seen in a month and a half of him being and helping out, it's like, oh my God, like, why did we not map this out sooner?
Yeah.
So having a business plan, not for your production, but for your inevitable team growth is something I would recommend.
Yeah. I think I definitely have somewhat of a vision of like what it's going to look like. It's definitely not going to be 500. I shoot myself in the head. Yeah. That would be way too much. But I think it's, instead of just like, hey, this is where I want to be, it sounds like I really do need to sit down and like map that out.
Yeah.
And get an assistant that we're not going to call an assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
I know you got a gala to go to. Am I riding with you, or are we driving separately?
You know what? I think I left your ticket at your office, and you should just go there and we'll just meet up.
Okay. And then
somewhere
we'll find the ticket together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I hid it. So if you find it, you can.
Did you put it in a high spot?
I put it in a really high spot.
Well, I don't have Well, I'll bring my ladder. Thanks again, Aaron.
Hey.
Huge help. We'll do this again, man. And then next time
let's do it.
we'll do it in hoodies and shorts.
This is just my normal day-to-day attire, though.
That's it every day.
This
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate it, dude.
Hey, thank you.
All right. What do you think? What? Oh, yeah. See, this is why I have a creative director. This is closing time with Aaron Schmitz, which he got mad because I spelled his name wrong, his last name wrong on the calendar.
You did spell my name. It was the first thing I called out to. The moment I came over, I'm like, mother truckers.
Yeah, I'm not coming.
I'm like, cancel everything.
Yeah. Cancel.
Yeah.
All right. Closing time, Aaron Schmitz, awesome leader. And also, I'm better looking than Aaron in a penguin suit.